I want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody will lift this heavy ass weight.
How much pain do you feel every day on a scale of 1 to 10? 9, 10.
Impossible. He's shown he's got the strongest back in the world. How about the strongest shoulders? You bet he does.
So these in the extra last bit or something, I need something more bright. Hey, don't film this. Don't film this.
You do only 3 main lifts. One is the fucking best, one is the fucking worst, and one is the fucking hardest. Bench, squat, deadlift.
So it really doesn't matter what your technique looks like if you're not using very heavy weight.
And a lot of athletes was sort of told to focus on the amount of weight that they lifted. The guy that was stronger, who could lift more weights, was usually going to be given the opportunity to play over the other guy.
All right, obviously there are a lot of people out there that say you gotta lift big to get big. But have we ever stopped to consider if there's a safer, better alternative? Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact 2 frameworks that I've used to go from 165 pounds to 178 pounds, gaining 10 pounds of muscle in less than 10 months. How do we build bigger muscles? So, what are these 2 frameworks you need to follow in order to grow more muscle? Well, the first one is what I call the 4 buckets. This is what you do inside the gym to stimulate your muscles so that they actually start to grow. The second framework is what I call the guardrails. This is what you do outside the gym to guarantee you're providing your muscles with enough nutrients they need to actually start to grow. And stick around till the end of the video. I got some fantastic free resources for you to make sure you're doing all the proper steps that you need to grow some muscles. So, let's get into it. The first framework is the 4 buckets. In order to grow your muscles, you need to stimulate them enough so that it passes a certain threshold. Once this happens, the body responds by growing more muscles. You can imagine it like your muscle is a bucket. When you provide it with enough stimulus, you're filling that bucket up with water. When it reaches the top, the body responds by growing more muscle. So now begs the question, how can you fill up the bucket? Well, there are 4 ways that you can do that. The first cup is the amount of weight that you lift. The second cup is the amount of reps that you do. The third cup is the speed at which you perform the exercise. And the fourth cup is the amount of rest you take in between sets. Now, the first cup, the amount of weight, this tends to be the most popular because people are like, oh, you gotta lift big to get big. So they take their weight and they pour it in, and then, the body's not responding. So what do? Oh, well, you just get more weight, and then you just keep pouring more and more weight in, and you just keep doing more and more weight. But you can only do that for so long. Eventually, you're gonna be lifting so much weight that there's gonna be a muscle that's too tight or a muscle that's too weak. You pull something, you tear something, you're injured, and now you're out of the gym. And then all that hard work and effort is for nothing. So what do you do then? Well, that's where the other cups come into place. So with the amount of reps that you perform per exercise, if you do more reps, anywhere from 12 to 20 reps, that will provide some stimulus for the muscle. And keep in mind too, when you're performing the rep ranges, you always want to finish either at failure or like 2 to 3 reps short of failure. Now, the next thing you can implement is the speed at which you perform the exercise. I want you to imagine you're doing a bicep curl and it's taking you like 3 to 4 seconds to lift the weight up, 3 to 4 seconds to lower the weight down. Now that will create that burning feeling. So by decreasing the speed at which you perform the exercise, you'll be providing more stimulus to the muscle. The next part is rest. The less rest you take in between exercises, the more intense the exercise will be. And that begins to provide a little bit more stimulus for the muscles. Now, if you look, we're not quite there yet. We're almost at full, but what do we do now? Well, let's say you're doing 12 to 20 reps. You're performing the exercise slowly, and you're taking short rest periods in between. But now, the weight that you're using feels a little bit easy. So what do you do then? Now you start to increase the weight. And when you do that, now you can see we provided enough stimulus for the muscle for the body to respond by growing more muscle. Now, lifting weights is certainly good, but there's a lot more you can be doing outside of the gym to promote muscle growth. And that's where the guardrails framework comes in. So, what are the guardrails? Well, I want you to imagine you're on a road and you have guardrails on the left and right side. If you stay within those two rails, you will get to your destination. So, what are these two numbers that you need to keep in mind with your nutrition that'll help you build muscle outside of the gym? Well, the first one is the amount of calories. We gotta calculate how many calories you're needing to eat every single day. Because if you gotta build muscle, you gotta take in more calories than you're burning off. The second number is the amount of protein. If you're not eating enough protein, your muscles do not have enough resources, enough nutrients, enough material to use to grow with. It'd be like trying to build a house, but you don't have enough bricks to lay the foundation. So, when it comes to the calories, what's the trick? Well, what is the trick? I don't even know. So when it comes to the amount of calories, all you gotta do is you take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 17. That will give you the amount of calories that you need to make sure you're eating every single day. If you hit that number, you're golden. Second number, how do we know how much protein to eat? I typically recommend doing your height in centimeters and multiplying that by 1.2. So let's say you're 6'1". That's 183 centimeters. So that means you would need to eat 220 grams of protein. And whenever I mention the amount of protein that you need to be eating, everyone always says the same exact thing. They say, Alec, that's too much protein. There's no way I can eat that much protein. Well, you can, and it's very simple. The way that I do it is I have 2 servings of a protein shake in the morning. That's 50 grams. I have another protein shake after I work out. That is also another 50 grams of protein. Right there is 100 grams of protein total, and we did not even get into eating any food yet. And when it comes to foods, at that point, all you gotta do is just eat some high protein food. Now, what foods have a lot of protein in it? Things like eggs, meat, fish. Those are very easy foods to consume that have high amounts of protein. And here's a cool little hack. Eating 1 pound ground meat of any kind is around 80 to 100 grams of protein. So that means a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground chicken, a pound of ground turkey meat. If you eat 1 pound of meat, it's gonna be about 100 grams of protein. But just breaking those numbers down helps to show that it's really not too difficult to get in all the protein that you need. So you made it this far in the video. I broke down a lot of numbers, provided a lot of tactics and tricks that you can use to build more muscle. And at this point, if you're wondering, Alec, where are these free resources? Well, what you can do is go to anabolicalec.com and you will find free calculators, free PDF downloads, everything that you need to help make your mission of building more muscle a little bit easier. So thank you so much for watching. If this was insightful, I ask that you just show your support by clicking like or subscribe for more videos in the future to come. And if you have any questions, comment it down below. I'm trying to make this a communicative type of community here, so if you have questions, I will answer them. Challenge me on that one. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing your success stories of building more muscle, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.